Ooh, that's a really good question. And I think each of those backgrounds come with strengths and limitations. Like I like my microbiologists, they're very detail oriented. I call them my inner people. Like they don't miss a detail, but the people skills, unless you are like a natural, because they're hidden in the lab, they don't really interact with a lot of people. And so that's an area of learning for them. My MPHs are great. They're great with data. They, especially my new grads, young into the infection prevention field, very creative. They can find like the most creative ways to drive the message home, but the clinical piece is missing. And so that's a big learning curve. And then you have the registered nurses. I think the biggest struggle for my RNs, me included, is, when you're an RN and you're walking on the floor or wherever you're walking, the clinical setting, I think what drives you is seeing people get better. And so that journey of observing the patient that you admitted 2 days ago is now like walking out and going home, walking out of the ICU and going home. That instant gratification, you kind of, if that is your primary driving force, infection prevention can feel a little bit like, oh my God, I don't see the impact. And that's something that I struggled with until you kind of get that this is bigger than just the one individual. You have a bigger impact in this role. And so a lot of nurses kind of struggle with that, kind of marrying what they're doing on a daily basis and seeing that outcome in ways that are different from what they used to see from one patient to the other. And I think that is, and then if depending on your background in training in nursing, if you haven't really dealt with a lot of data, it becomes a learning curve for you because nursing is typically not kind of data driven in the day to day work that we do. Everything is kind of built on the background for nurses to just take and do the work. We're not the ones that are kind of looking at the data and trying to use the data to work for us. And so that is a learning curve for nurses. I don't think I've answered your question, but I do think that each of the roles, they bring in something unique, and when you add all of that together, you get like a really good and strong program. And that's what I like.